Well, we have 5 guards, and there are 4 of them can play the point. So we'll see how it goes. It's a work in progress. Got a lot of young guys back there trying to figure out, who's going to play and how they're going to play. The difference with this year's team and last year's, with Tyus, Frank, and O'Shea, you basically had 3 guys that were going to play 38 minutes. And this year, the only guy that, at this stage that looks like he would be playing that many minutes would be Elijah. Well, our young guards are going to have to take those spots. It's 2 guys, and we have 5 guys fighting for the minutes at those spots. And Jalen had some experience. Buddy had some experience last year, which will help them. But all 5 of those guards are in the mix, and we'll just see how they produce, how they play. I think that will be a ongoing, changeable position throughout the year. With the 20 games, you have to play conference games earlier, and it's the same for everybody. So you just have to be prepared. We've opened with tough games before, so obviously Virginia's a tremendous team, and even though they've lost key guys, they have a lot of good players back, and it'll be a great test to start out. I think we're one of our better shooting teams in a while, and it'll be important for this team to make shots, I think. But it's always important to score, get to the foul line, and to score getting to the basket as well. You can't rely on one thing, any one thing. But we would like to shoot the ball better from the 3 this year as a team. It's important for this team to just to start out playing as well as we can, but then to get better as we go along. When you have a lot of veterans, they're going to start out pretty good, but there might not be as much upside with that team. With so many new guys, then I think there's a little bit more upside going forward.
Welcome to the Cuse Militia Podcast with those 2 unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
What's up, Cuse Nation? Thanks for tuning in to the Cuse Militia Podcast with Sean and Joe. If you like it, please share it. The universal handle for the socials is @Cuse Militia. Go there, join the militia. We are the first Syracuse sports podcast centered around giving you, the fans, a voice. So, welcome back. We're going to talk a little orange basketball. The orange-white game happened, and we want to just kind of, I don't know how much we can get out of it. Let's be honest. I think
at media day, Jim Boeheim talked a little.
So that was 17-minute long. As excited as always as Coach Boeheim is,
Oh, I love it.
That's because you're monotone as hell. So,
dude, but it's 40+ years. What do you expect?
He's 44, and he looks damn good for 70,
plus.
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's 44.
At some point, it's not exciting to talk about anymore. It's
I know. At some point,
dumb
he's just
people. I don't want to say dumb. Same reporters asking the same questions.
He is so over it. He is so over standing at that microphone.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't. I would not be surprised at some point if he's just like starts sending Jerry McNamara out there, like, dude.
Or goes out there like, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Yeah, exactly. So what was I saying though? There's not a ton to take away from that. I think obviously the defense wasn't full force. It's kind of an entertainment thing. It's kind of a thing to bring the fans in, have some fun. And, it's just to get the buzz back, because everybody wants the buzz back, okay, for Syracuse basketball. And it is, it's close. We're like less than 30 days away, I believe, from playing Virginia in the Dome.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. That's a game, and I'm so excited about this team, and I'm not setting expectations. I just said I'm excited, and the excitement is the unknown. And I think we've probably mentioned this, but a lot of young guys, a lot of good young guys. Looks like we got a lot of athletes. It looks like our shooting is above what it is better than it has been in the past few years.
Right.
You've got Elijah Hughes, who's a freaking, he's a baller. He's coming back. And we got a lot of these young guys who are going to start leading this team. And, you've got the Guerrier, who's taken over for O'Shea, who are in the reporting that I read, and people I've heard tweet or post things on Facebook saying, he's just like, he's O'Shea Brissett.
He's probably not going to come in and be as good as O'Shea was.
Probably not. Probably not.
Going into, but as comparable as his freshman year.
Yeah, sure.
And they say he's got a better jumper. But he's not as athletic, so we'll see.
Yeah, we've got some excitement at center now. So we'll see what happens there. And Coach Boeheim said that some of those guys were putting on some weight from when I'm talking about the freshman guys, put on some weight from when they first started. So being Jesse Edwards and Bolajak. So it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. I'm excited for it. I know Joe loves the overlap, the football-basketball overlap. And I love it, too, as a fan. But as doing the shows, boy, it gets brutal. It gets brutal. It does, right, Joe? I'm not trying to be like, oh, poor me. But it does. It gets brutal. So anyway.
It just keeps us extra super busy on top of being busy all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we are going to talk some Syracuse basketball, but as always, first, before we do that, we are going to hear from the good folks over at MyBookie. Now, regardless whether you've been betting for years or you're ready to try it for the first time, MyBookie is the perfect place to go to try this out. Now, if it is your first time, you want to definitely go ahead and check it out. Make sure it's right for you. If you know what you're getting into, I recommend going over to MyBookie. And if you're the kind of guy or gal who likes to bet a little and win a lot, try the parlay. Basically, if you got a hunch on a few games, what you can do at the parlay is pick a couple of those favorites for the week. And if you come up perfect, you bet a little, you win a lot on multiple games, and you get the bigger payout for that. So if you're going to bet this season, do the smart thing and go to mybookie.ag, because no one gives you more ways to win than MyBookie. With pro football in full swing, college football in full swing, you got the MLB playoffs going on right now. Hockey's back. Basketball's right around the corner. Now is the time to get off the sidelines and get in on the action. If you really want to show support for your team this season, don't just sit on the sidelines. Get in the game with mybookie.ag. And if you join right now, MyBookie will double your first deposit. All you got to do is use promo code CHAIR. That's CHAIR. Use the promo code CHAIR when setting up your account, and they will double your first deposit. Visit mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid. Thank you, MyBookie. The Orange team consisted of Goodine, Gerard, Hughes, Dole on the wing, Jesse Edwards gets the start at center, and then Bolajak, Nick Giancola, who is Buddy's cousin, and Chris Linali, I think. Whatever. The white team. The white team. Carey, Boeheim, Braswell, Guerrier, Sidibe, down low, Washington, Brendan Paul, and Sean Belby. So the scrimmage was preceded by a skills competition. Dolajai, Carey, Bolajak, and Guerrier participated in all that. It seemed, from what I've read, that Carey, quote unquote, won the competition. They were required to pass the ball off of a toss back net and make a layup, dribble to the other end of the floor between some cones, and finish with a 3-pointer at the other end. So, just a little. What do you want to call it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Little obstacle course.
Yeah. So the 3-point contest was won by
none other than
was it Goodine? Yeah, it was Goodine.
Yeah.
And Buddy Boeheim, Goodine, and Braswell competed in that. Goodine took it.
So did Gerard.
And Gerard. Yes, I'm sorry. Goodine 12 for 15. Boeheim made 10, Braswell 8, and Gerard 7. So the sharpshooter, a little lackluster there.
It was too close for him.
Yeah, right. But how about this Bryson Goodine, Joe? I have read nothing but great things
he's
about
our best
him.
Overall number-wise recruit. But, yeah, I mean, throwing that and the unknown of Joe Girard coming in and just kind of being an unknown, some guy that's going to be able to just sneak out the perimeter and hit threes. It's going to be interesting, man. Again, I mean, just take away from that and just Italy and everything and just listening to Boeheim. These are the type of years, right? So we don't have expectation. We're playing against Virginia, the first game.
National champions come to the Dome. First game of the season.
You hear all these things. Oh, he's talking about depth. He's talking about possibly going man-to-man. I think it's just because last year you have three obvious better players. And then you kind of just feed them the ball and hope that they're going to be the guys. But like exactly what Boeheim said, he's like, last year you had three players that were playing 38 minutes because of how good they were.
Right.
And this year you got maybe one, which means that there's going to be a lot of movement in and out, this and that. And it's going to be competition to get to that point because ultimately, what Boeheim wants is he wants a solid 7-8 man rotation. But it's going to be more than that because of the unknown, like you said.
A lot of flexibility in there. And competition breeds success. And, the cream rises to the top in competition.
Dude, honestly, I hope that this group just revolutionizes the way that he even coaches.
I think so.
Opens up his eyes to, hey, I can play more than 7-8 guys. I can change my defense. I can use, kind of think outside the box a little bit, so to speak.
They started with man-to-man in the scrimmage before switching to zone. Is that what you're talking about? Doing some man-to-man maybe?
Well, I mean, they've talked about it. They did it a little bit in Italy. They did it a little bit in the scrimmage. There's even some talk of, from him talking about how he might try different defenses, even if it is.
Why not? Why not? You got nothing to lose with this team.
Right, exactly. That's the point. Is you can kind of take this team and you got a group that can probably come in and play full court press. You have a group that can come in and play a 2-3 zone probably pretty good. You got a group that probably can come in and man up for a little while.
What do you go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, and on top of the fact of I just think that some of the way that I don't want to blame it just all on that, but you have good players, but when they know they're in there, it just seems like sometimes the offense has gotten stale. We've had guys that a lot of just one-on-one type stuff, and
it gets boring to watch. It gets hard to.
Yeah. This year, you got players that are just willing to pass the ball because, like you said, there is no guy.
They talked a lot about the passing.
Team defense. I mean, you got to play team defense because there's pretty much probably only going to be one guy out there on the court to where he can make a couple mistakes and not get pulled. If Elijah Hughes, you know what I'm saying? Like, if not him, then pretty much nobody else.
Right.
So you better play team ball. You better play unselfish ball. You better play team, just play for the team. And again, it can, like you said, so many different options. And hey, who knows? Like you said,
my early judgment, and just by watching the highlights, reading from you guys, I asked you guys for your thoughts. We'll get into a little bit of that. But between that and reading the reporters' things out of Syracuse, the normal guys, the passing has been impressive. Now, granted, they're playing each other, okay? So, I mean, it is what it is. I understand that. But this is what we have to go off of. And the scoring is better. So you've got 7 different players hitting three-pointers in this scrimmage. Now, I know the defense wasn't, like I said, I don't want to say it wasn't up to 100%, but they weren't playing like 100. They weren't.
Ain't gonna be Virginia.
Right. So, you got guys hitting the three ball, and it's something we've missed is scoring, man. And not only that, but according to what I've read, Carey scored 8 points, and he hit a lot of things. Some nice jumpers, but Gary Air with the jump shots, and he was either finishing at the rim or he was getting fouled. And that's huge.
Yeah.
The deal is for the past 2 years, we've been so bad at foul shots. And, that's something we need to see improve. That scoring and passing. And it seems like the scoring and passing on their way up. And the one thing Jim Boeheim said that I think is the most important thing to take out of this, anything preseason heading into Virginia, would be that what you see against Virginia is definitely not going to be what we see at the end of the year when you have a team this young, right? Because there's going to be so much time to get better.
And that game's house money.
Oh yeah.
That game's house money because they lost so many players. They're going to be coming off of a national championship hangover with so many players lost. So, I mean, that's going to be their first game, too. So that's, to me, is going to be a winnable game. But it's going to be also a game where Jim Boeheim can just come out and just,
Go
mess with Tony Bennett's mind.
Figure it out, yeah.
Do some stuff that completely he's just never done before. Just throw it out there. Like, it's going to be interesting to see.
It's going to be fun, and, let's not remember. Let's not get too upset too early. It's a young team. We didn't see a lot of. Remember last year, and back to my point, the point that Jim Boeheim made that I just want to piggyback on. Last year, we had all these older guys returning, and they were bad in the beginning of the year. Tyus struggled, and Brissett struggled a lot, and we were like, well, they're good, better. They're good. And they never really did. They never really did.
But not right, and that's the whole thing. Is because why? Because we had 3 players playing 38 minutes, and the whole season is a grind. How many games do you play? Then there's a conference tournament, and then you get ready. I mean, that's a grind.
Oh, totally.
So to be perfectly honest with you, I mean, being able to have depth and change things up and have different options sometimes, I mean, wouldn't be that bad. But it's always been, at Syracuse, you see what you get. You're going to have 3 or 4 guys playing 35 plus minutes. And again, I mean, the difference between this year as well is that we had a bunch of guys, average 3 outside shooters, taking threes last year. I think that we're a lot better in the 3-point area this year. As you can see, 3 out of the 4 people or players in the 3-point competition were our freshmen. So
yeah. And
there's just, I mean, it's nothing to not be excited about, because at the end of the day, we could go through this whole season and not lose anybody, right? Maybe, but is Sidibe no, he's a junior.
Yeah.
He's a junior, I think, right? So
we will return we could return everybody.
Everybody,
yep.
Right?
Yep. So, well, we asked for your thoughts. If you went to the game, if you live in Syracuse and you went to the game, we appreciate your feedback. And I said, hey, if you went there, man, what were your takeaways? So I didn't get anything negative, which is awesome. Thank you. At Orange Fan 2013, which is a great handle, but the name is the best. Stephen A. Spliff. I like that.
That's pretty nice. Yeah.
I always try to pick out the freshmen that look quote-unquote comfortable out there, a.k.a. Malachi and O'Shea from prior years. Gary Ayer does for sure, and Goodine definitely did. And we touched on those two. And I think, that's awesome. We need that, obviously. And I don't think that's any surprise. But, Gary Ayer is – they said – I can't remember who wrote this. It was Syracuse.com that they said that he might have been a little less athletic than O'Shea, but I don't know, man. I don't know from what I've seen, like watching highlights and what I've seen.
From what I've seen, I don't know either.
I don't know.
No, yeah. And honestly, I mean, he looks like a turned on O'Shea Brissett like all the time. Like he's very physical, goes. It looked like he had a better motor than O'Shea.
Yeah. And, we all know, I think, where O'Shea.
I mean, we'll see when he plays the big boys.
Yeah, obviously, that's going to be the test. Is the real games, but this is all we got to go off of.
Pretty much.
At Christina Cuse, I wasn't there, but followed along. Great passing of the ball. So I guess she might have listened or read tweets or something and followed along. I read the same thing, that they were moving the ball really well, and I heard that. There was some good pick and roll movement, which we never got last year.
Right.
And that's going to be huge this year, because it never worked last year, because we all knew what the hell Chuka was going to do, and that was nothing.
And that's going to be Jalen Carey's bread and butter, because he's got the speed to be able to, if they do go over the top, he can go down and he can go into the lane and get layups and make plays and passes and stuff like that. And he also has that little mid-range jumper where he can stop and pop at the free throw line if his guy goes around the pick. So
yeah. At Chris Cuse Forever, we are deeper and more talented at the guard position than in many, many years. 5 to 6 guys that can really shoot it, which is obviously something we've been lacking. Saw at least 5 possessions where the ball moved around and the shot was talent, but I think he means the shot was taken without the ball touching the floor. So yeah, another thing we haven't had, and we touched on briefly, was the fact that there's always one-on-one stuff, no ball movement.
Right.
So ball movement. Let's get back to
ball
that.
movement.
Yeah. Let's see. That's Robert on Twitter. Oh, wait. Yeah, Robert on Twitter. Sorry, buddy. I don't know how to pronounce your handle. Dunkers, Guerriere, Goodine, Sidibe, Hughes, Edwards, Bolajak, Braswell, Snipers, Goodine, Buddy, Hughes, JG3, Washington. Oh, well. I mean, you're naming everybody here.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
thanks, bud.
Yeah, appreciate that, Robert. As you can see, I probably did not proofread these at all because I didn't. And that's
okay.
And
so,
that's fine.
Oh,
we're doing
wow.
it.
Good guess.
We're doing it.
Right.
We're doing it live. We're doing it live. F- it. We'll do it live. So, all right. Here's Cuse Waterboy. He went to Facebook, but he said, "Better here." It's no. So he's gonna give his 2-piece then some. Love all the shooters we have. Goodine looked great and won the 3-point contest. 12 for 15. Dolajai still does all the little hustle plays well and looks bigger. Oh, Dolajai putting on some weight, huh? Liked Edwards, who looks for his offense, which is something we haven't seen from our centers. Carey, nice mid-range jumper going, plus his passing and court vision has improved. That's huge because while he moves too fast sometimes for his hands, court vision was maybe some of that problem. Guerriere is an athletic freak who reminds me of O'Shea, but a better shooter. There we go. That's what I like to hear. And that's kind of what I got out of it, too. That's what I got watching the highlights.
Right.
The team's speed and chemistry appears better than last year. The chemistry, Joe, that's huge. That's huge. I didn't even mention that. I didn't even think about that. Expectations are low for this team, which historically leads to the best results. Let's go Orange. That's a great comment. Thank you for that, Anthony.
Yep.
Appreciate it. He was obviously there, and those are the things that if I would have not read this comment, that's kind of what I got out of, obviously I'm in Virginia Beach, Joe, you're in North Carolina, and watch the highlights.
It's not on the radio.
Yeah, watch the highlights, read a lot, and that's pretty much what I got out of it. So, excellent.
Well, we got a lot of young guys that are different strengths and different weaknesses, and it's going to be fun to see what type of lineups Jimmy can, kind of put together.
Yeah, well, we'll see the Boeheim chemist come out probably in the expedition games, but no time to play come Virginia. I'm gonna do a little bit of playing around, but not too much.
Well, yeah, but
it is kind of I don't want to say it's a throwaway. What'd you call it earlier? Did you say something? What'd you call it? I mean, the Virginia game. It's not a throwaway game, but there is some.
I said we're pretty much playing with house money.
House money.
That's what I
said.
Yeah,
okay,
because we don't know what they have, and they don't know what we have. So if we come in, maybe because I don't know where they're going to get their offense from.
Right.
All their offense, which they were great defense, low scoring games, and the points that they did score in those low scoring games are pretty much in the NBA now.
Yeah.
So they're going to have a rough go at it as well. So it's going to be a very interesting first game.
Brandon on Facebook, Goodine is the real effing deal. I don't want to jinx anything. This is a season. I wonder if we'll have a solid offense. I can honestly see 65, 80 points a game average. With that said, I could easily see us giving up the same amount of points. So he's basically saying, hey, man, we got a decent offense, but I'm not sure about a decent offense, but I'm not sure about the defense.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, and we didn't get this. We didn't get to see him play.
Yeah.
Last
we're not
year.
going to
not full force,
yeah.
right? Exactly.
Yeah, like we talked about, the unknown is what's going to keep everyone on their toes.
Yeah.
As far as this whole season. So again, this season to me is just it's going to be the growing of the expectations for next year, because I think there's a lot of fans coming into this year that if they don't make the tournament, I mean, some fans I feel like aren't even expecting to make the tournament. So therefore, if we do, imagine the expectations next year. So
right.
As far as this year goes, I don't think there's a lot of expectations. That's why it's going to be a fun, wild ride. And obviously now that our football team is 3-3, everyone's calling for basketball season.
Yeah, like Peter on Facebook. Can anyone on this team play quarterback for the football team?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much. There we go. Joe Girard.
Yeah, Girard plays quarterbacks. I don't know about that. I think we'll keep him healthy for basketball. So.
Oh yeah, we're gonna put him behind that offensive line. He'll never play basketball.
Holy cow! So anyway, hey, appreciate all of you. A little bonus episode. Wanted to talk some basketball. We knew it was going to be long enough where we didn't want to mix it up with some football stuff. So, share it up. Appreciate it. And I can't wait. It's coming up soon. And if you would leave us a review on iTunes. You know, if you got something nice to say, we'd appreciate it. Give us 5 stars. Give a written review if we read it on the air, and we will send you out some stuff. So we appreciate that. We appreciate you all for the comments. I know it was probably, I put that out probably an hour ago. So
we had some good comments considering it was only an hour ago. Heads
absolutely.
Up, keep an eye out for polls and questions and stuff for basketball, because you know it's going to be coming, especially after these exhibition games. So.
Yep, it's going to be coming, and for football too. Of course. We're gonna let that calm down for.
Oh yeah, and hey, just I want to throw a little, because I know I'm not trying to throw it out there, but Tiana, her
chemo's done. Yeah.
So hopefully,
congratulations for her.
Prayers to her, and hopefully everything's good.
Absolutely. Yes. Joe saying prayers makes me smile. So, just so you know, Tiana, everybody in Cuse Nation's thinking of you, obviously, and then she's probably not listening to this, but that's the truth, right? So, Anyway, appreciate y'all for listening. Thank you to my bookie. Thank you to James on guitar. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Cuse Militia Podcast, the fan's voice with Sean and Joe.